How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Sdfc match review. We got
Vince,
two matches to review.
something looks a little different around here.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Does it?
Oh, what the heck?
Oh,
We got
Oh, we're at
Mission
the
Bay
beach.
behind us. I don't know how we got here.
I don't
but
know how we-
I
the
don't
studio.
We keep switching studios. We keep getting kicked out. But regardless of the fact is, guys, we're here. We're doing a match review for you, man. Yeah, we got two matches to preview this.
two
game.
matches, and then an
then
even
a
more
little-
exciting one on Saturday.
Oh yeah. Well, what is this Saturday? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe just our main rival match against LA Galaxy.
Yeah, that's right. So let's get this out of the way, Carlos. You know, we're at Mission Bay, right? But we got some matches to review, so let's just get into it, guys. If you guys are new here, you guys like, comment, subscribe. This is obviously not our normal setup, but we just thought that, you know, kind of switch it up today.
Yeah,
but,
we were doing something. That's kind of. We'll see if it gets shown later. But if you guys see
Y'all
it,
will see.
you'll know why we're here.
Yeah, y'all will see. But yeah, so if you guys are new here, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and check us out on Instagram at SDFC Bros and TikTok at SDFC Bros. We put out a banger on TikTok, so make sure you guys check it out. But let's do this, Carlos. So versus Colorado, the midweek matchup. This one was kind of interesting because we were getting off of work. We were, you know, kind of a little tired, but we're all like, you know what, let's go to this SDFC game. So it was pretty fun, midweek kind of matchup. But we're kind of thinking about, you know, going into this game versus Colorado.
Yeah, like we talked about a lot. You know, we knew that the boys were going to be tired. Boys were going to be, you know, it was going to be a different game. But just from the moment we got there, the energy felt alive, and I think we thought like there wasn't going to be too many fans, not really pulling up, and really it felt really nice actually walking in there with the trolley. We didn't get to do the normal tailgating experience that we did. We were really coming off of work. I mean, it was crazy to just come home and then straight to a game, but
yeah.
It kind of felt like one of those European experiences, like that you see on TV all the time. So it was really nice, and you know, we were just looking for a win against Colorado. They beat us already, and we just did not want to get beat again.
Yeah, I was going to say in the previous game it ended 3-2, and it was one of those games that we gave them the win more
100%.
than us losing to them. So that's kind of how I saw it. We saw the return of the front three, CDM, Chucky, Dreyer, Mighton. After that one knock that Mighton had versus Dallas, he missed the previous game versus St. Louis, so he came back versus Colorado in this game. But we looked a lot more dynamic in this one, and you just see the importance of when Mighton is in versus when he is not. We seemed a little flat versus St. Louis, but now in this one we definitely got a lot more into it, into the final third and 100%. So on and so forth.
We looked like a team ready to come in and play and win and score.
Certainly.
Like that was the most important part, and I think they wanted to show out like with the lineup that we had. Right,
yeah, certainly. And we would go up first in this one in the 33rd minute from a corner kick. Yepe was at like the front post, and he like headed it back into the box where Chris McVeigh heads it across the line. And you're starting to see SDFC being a super big goal threat from these set pieces
100%.
because we got some big players on the team, right? This is Chris McVeigh's second goal, I believe, or third goal
from a corner also,
from a corner kick as well, from a header. So it's like you kind of see his importance of, you know, these set pieces, where to kind of be at the right space at the right time and everything like that. What have you kind of made of kind of Chris McVeigh and kind of his importance in the defense and kind of our set piece threats?
Yeah, no, I mean Chris McVeigh from the very get-go. We could see we didn't really know who our backline was going to be, and I don't think we ever talked or even believed that he was going to be one of those main guys. But it just shows that each game he's ready to, you know, either perform in those set pieces or perform defensively. And him and Patty McNair are just some two solid center defenders that we have going forward. And a lot has changed in that defense, as I think we've seen in these last few games. And I think it's really thanks to Chris McVeigh and Patty McNair and those center back defense, you know?
Certainly. Yeah, definitely. And SDFC were very dominant. This was a very one-sided game. Let's do a quick little game. How many shots do you think San Diego FC had that whole game?
I think when I was seeing it was 15.
28.
Oof.
28 shots compared to Colorado's 8. And we would look a lot more comfortable in this game compared 100%. To the last showing, right? I think it was kind of just like confidence, obviously riding from the last couple of games as well. But early in the second half, Dreyer does well to create this goal all by himself, hits it off the woodwork, and then it goes straight back into his path to hit it high, and he gives us the 2-0. Talk to me about Dreyer's kind of impact in these last couple games. 3 goals and 2 assists in his last 4.
Yeah, no, Dreyer's impact has been been insane after coming back. Like, you can definitely see that this formation really plays to Dreyer's strength and makes him be a little more confident than he's been in these last few games. And then being able to come back and score that goal. I know it hit off the post, and then he's still able to bag it in. You know, still an amazing shot. Unlucky that it doesn't go in right away, but still being able to bag it in and score those goals. But Dreyer, Mite, and Chucky
front three
formation is just front three is really working for us to our advantage, and just allowing the players to play a lot better and a lot more fluid. And I think we talked about this not in the Colorado game, but in the St. Louis, not St. Louis,
Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City.
Okay.
How interchangeable
game after
they are. We go. Sometimes we see Mayan switching or Dreyer switching into that center, and they just flow very naturally. No pun intended. But they do flow in a very nice way, and you can just see that. And we really saw it against Colorado, who we're looking to play. And I know we're going to get more into it with Kansas City, but who we're looking to score, and we just take advantage of that. And again, it's really good to see them, and Dreyer is really just coming into his own.
Yeah, certainly. He's definitely in that conversation. For me now, for MVP in the league, right? You're talking about, other kind of guys that are making an impact for their respective clubs, but it's super hard to keep Dreyer out of that conversation just because of his importance, especially in these last couple games, and especially because we had a tough month in April, right? So we got 3 points in that whole month in April. So it's like you're kind of looking at it as now, right? We turn the page, right? We turn the page, and now you're seeing Dreyer come up with big performances, Chucky coming up with big performances. And speaking of big performances, CJ Dos Santos, penalty save at the end of the night, just put the cherry on top of the cake for me. And just the defense in the last 4 games conceded 1 goal. And I mean, this is, I think, my whole section, right? This is my section of the video, right? The defense. I go on about this defense all the time, but you see how important it is to keep clean sheets and how much easier it is to win the game and to grab 3 points. If you play the defense and you keep the shape and you kind of just keep that consistency on that front, then it just makes the job so much easier. Bambino coming up huge in these last couple games, his importance in the team, that left back slot being a proper presence in the defense. He's always the first player back. He's always the first player back, especially on those corner kicks, right? He has that good recovery speed to go back and everything like that. Obviously, McNair and McVeigh gaining that chemistry game in and game out, right? So you start to see how much of a presence they are in the back, 100%. Right? And then Willie as well. He's grown on me a lot with these last performances, showing up big, and he is just as important as everybody else in that defense. And I mean, CJ Dos Santos, man, not much has to be said just about his contributions in this defense as well, right? Like how I mentioned, 1 goal conceded in the last 4.
No, I think one of the biggest things and the biggest takeaway from these last few games for sure have been how much our defense have improved. I think that going into the Kansas City talk conversation, we're going to have a different conversation about our offensive, but really I think our defense have locked up. Even with these young players like Luka or Verhoeven, who are coming in, but we've really kind of shown our defensive, like how we're going to be playing, and really feel like we have a confident defense, which is important. But again, just going back to that, CJ Dos Santos stopping that PK was important. I don't think it was just important for him. You know what I'm saying? I think it was really important for the city. We were winning 2-0. We wanted to close out that way. I think we deserved to close out that day, and you could just feel that energy. It was so, I mean, even like CJ Dos Santos said, once I turned around to that crowd and I heard them cheering, I knew I was saving that, and you just kind of felt that in the atmosphere, and it was almost like a, dare I say it, like an FU, you know what I'm saying, to the first, where our real problems really started, kind of going downhill against that Colorado team, where it was that first PK where we were just like, what the hell is going on? And being able, like, it felt like after CJ Dos Santos saved that, it was like, that's behind us now, this is a new team, we're stopping this, we're going forward, and you just felt the atmosphere in that game. And what felt like a, and it's funny, what felt like what should have been a mediocre Wednesday night game turned into a Saturday night, almost like I want to go out and party this win game, which is a little different story for Saturdays, but it really became something you just felt the atmosphere blow up. And I think that's like the importance of going to these games, that, you know, anything can happen, and the atmosphere in Snapdragon just becomes so electric. It can change in a matter of seconds, and these fans are willing and dying for that.
Yeah, that penalty save, it sounded like we scored a goal.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's how like big it was. So I think, you know, big up CJ Dos Santos, and I want to give a massive credit to Mikey Varas in this game.
100%.
Set up the team absolutely perfectly. I had zero issues with how the team was set up and kind of the lineup and the formation and everything like that.
Even the substitutions.
Substitutions were spot on.
Right.
Just every single moment, right? He just read it perfectly. So Mikey Varas, I tip my hat to you, my friend. Let's go to match ratings. So we'll start with you. What are we saying?
Yeah, I think I'm a solid 7 on this one. I mean, really respectfully, it was a great game. We came out 2-0. I don't think there was much that we could really be hateful for, upset at, angry. I mean, it was a quick game right after playing on Saturday away, and then coming back to play on a Wednesday, and then knowing we had another Saturday game. I think the formation was great. The tactics were great. We just played a really solid game. The San Diego's game, nothing out of the water like we've seen, you know, on these 5-0 wins. But no, just a perfect, just what you expect from this team. Go in, go out.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of like a smash and grab, right? Just get in there, get out with the 3 points, and
go.
And just get out of there. I'm gonna say an 8. I'm gonna say an 8 solely off of the fact just on how impressed I was with the defense this game.
Yeah, Dos Santos
save and everything like that. Like how I mentioned Bambino last couple of games, how he's been super important in these last couple of games. So I'm gonna just, you know, piggyback off of what you said and you know, agree with all the points that you said. So I'm gonna say an 8 out of 10, definitely. So let's quickly move on to this Kansas City game. Not much in this game to really talk about. No goals to call in this one. And it was a little underwhelming, I'm not gonna lie, just because Kansas City came into this game with one thing in mind: get out of San Diego with a draw. And I mean, to their credit, not only did they come out with a draw, they came out with a clean sheet as well. So, you know, I'll tip my hat to them as well. They came out with a game plan and executed it perfectly. Damn near. You know, even though they had 2 shots the whole game, and that's not a misspeak, right? 2 shots the whole game, 1 on target. San Diego FC had 65% possession and 10 shots total. So what were you kind of like thinking, like during the game? Were you thinking, okay, maybe we're gonna get one? Are we gonna, you know, settle for a draw? What were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was multiple not multiple, but there was quite a few chances that we kind of let slip through our fingers. But that's just soccer. You know what I'm saying? They just don't come in. And with Kansas City, who came to play, they came to play like you said, they came to get a point and leave. Just get out of Dodge, because it's just like, I think they're 13th place.
Yeah, they're pretty low.
You know what I'm saying? They're not really gonna pressure. They're not what's it called. They just came to, and again, like we've talked through and through. We've only seen these San Diego for 1 season, but we can already know they're kryptonite at this point. It's that low block, like you said.
Certainly.
Kansas City ran through it. Look, at the end of the day, soccer. You know what I'm saying? I want my team to win and stuff like that, but you cannot hate on Kansas City because they played a chess game. They played a chess game. They played valuable. They played what they needed to play, and they came in and they did exactly that. And that's beautiful at the end of the day. They came with a mission. They did it. They got what they wanted. And they almost scared us. They almost scared us with the goal, and they could have come out with 3 points. But it's a little hard, you know, for San Diego, because that low block does kill us, and we don't seem to have an answer for it. We genuinely don't. And maybe we thought our answer was Mayan, Chucky, and Dreher, but it's not. It doesn't seem to be. We do need a team to want to attack us a little bit more, which ultimately is going to favor us in playoffs and more important games, because those teams are going to need to score. You know what I'm saying? They can't go to PKs all the time.
Good point.
But it's still, you know what I'm saying? It still just sucks, because the team will go and say, like, it's important to them for us to win at home. We want to win those home games. But I think Mikey Vada said it most important and said it correct. Look, we had our first long week game, 3 games back to back to back. We come out of it with 7 points. As a new team in the MLS season, can't be mad. We can't be mad. We had 9 points up for grabs, come out with 7, can't be mad. For our first season ever, can't be upset. It's just one of those things that happen. It's soccer, it is what it is. Of course, we see the potential in this team, and so we want them to keep winning and keep winning. And I think that's San Diego's worst point, is that they just blew us out of the water from the beginning. So we know the value that this team has. We know the ability that they have when they're ready to play. So it kind of hurts us when they don't do the best that they can. You know, it's like your kid bringing home a B when you know they're an A student. Come on, like the B for an average kid is just a B.
Take a B.
You'll take a B. But if you know your kid can get an A,
Fair.
How mad are you going to be your kid for getting a B?
Like, all right, that's a very good analogy. Very good analogy. So yeah, I 100% agree, especially with what Mikey Vada said. Right, 7 out of 9 points, considering it's a long week and everything like that. 100% take that. And honestly, I really don't have much to add. I think you hit all the bullet points on that one. So with that being said, let's quickly go to match rating. What are we saying for this one?
Yeah, I think an average 4.55.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll say a 5, just right, smack dab in the middle.
Right, exactly. I mean, our defense was great. I mean, at the end of the day,
another clean sheet. We take clean sheets. I think that's the most important takeaway you can take out of this game. We get a clean sheet, and it's continuous that the defense is growing and they're gaining that chemistry all together, all 5 of them.
100%.
I'm going to include the goalkeeper in that one as well because he was a huge part in that one too. So yeah, I do agree with all the bullet points. So I'm going to say a 5 out of 10. So when you deep it, right, like how you were mentioning, 7 out of 9 points is pretty good considering the month of April that we had. We grabbed 3 points that whole month.
Right, exactly.
Right, so that was a very tough month. So it's really nice to see that San Diego FC and the coaching staff, we're turning the page from a very negative April, right? And now we're looking at it as a more positive, right? We have a lot of games this month. We still got a lot of games to go, a lot of points to win. And I think, like how we mentioned, it was Kansas City's job, come away with the draw, and they did their game plan, executed it perfectly. So with that being said, we're third in the West right now. So what has been the turnaround? What has that been like, and how has that impacted the team and most importantly the fans for Sdfc?
We were on a really big high,
right?
And I think we went on a really, really steep low. And it's just San Diego culture to just get mad at. You know what I'm saying? Just not believe. You know what I'm saying? It's over. It's done with. Just because we've just been through so many losses through with the Padres and everything like that. But the reality is that this team came back and said, you know what? We'll take those 3 losses and raise you 3 more. 3 more. We're gonna come back stronger. We're gonna do that. And we talked, and for any other team, I think that could have been just like the marker. You did everything you could, and then you've lost. But San Diego said, no, we have something to talk about. We have something to say. We lost our rhythm, but we're here. Mikey Vada's made it clear. The team has made it clear, and the fans have made it clear that we're going to be next to you no matter what. We're going to be supporting you no matter what. And it makes the energy just become more and more and more and more alive down here in the city. And just like, what's going on? What's happening this Saturday? San Diego's playing? Oh, okay, I want to go watch.
Yeah.
I want to be there because I do want to see these wins. And we have a team that's willing to fight for this team.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It was a very, very tough month in April, right? We were always kind of on the edge of our seat, kind of being like, okay, where is San Diego going to go at? And how is the approach going to be in the next couple games? And then we lose a game. So it's like, it's about that mental kind of hurdle, right?
Right.
How do you overcome those challenges and those obstacles? And it's like, now you're kind of seeing the product of that, right? And I think we've learned a lot about the team in such a short amount of time in such a long season, right? So it's like, I think, with this month of May, how it's been just such a complete 180 of what these last couple months have been, right? You mentioned how we started high and we kind of hit that low, and now we're starting to kind of, recuperate the group and kind of go off of that.
Well, yeah, just to your point, I think even more like, we started off high, so we believed, but then we were like, oh, we don't know. Then we got low, and then we're like, okay, well, we don't really know at all now. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But you're right. What this month has shown at this point,
we really don't know.
No, is that we do actually know, and that this is what the team is, and what they're really willing to put out. You know what I'm saying? And I could feel more confident, and maybe losing one game at this point, because I know that that team is going to show up, or even tying this Saturday game, this last Saturday game, because it was like, okay, but I know that the team wants more and wants more and wants more. So, I'm really excited for what this is going to do, and I think we have real big talks to talk about what's going to happen in playoffs, because I think
we're going to be a force.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're going to be a force, and let's preview our next game versus
a really important game.
Very big game. And I know, you kind of look at it on paper, right? Last place versus third place. How's that a big game? But it's about what it means more, right? The rivalry between SD and LA. And I've been kind of, on Twitter and everything like that, people saying, how's this a rivalry when, San Diego FC is a new team in the league? It's not just about like San Diego FC versus LA Galaxy. I think it's a lot more rooted deeply into 100%. That, right? Just LA versus San Diego kind of culture and everything like that, right? Music, food, car
Dodgers,
scene,
Padres.
Dodgers, Padres, even if you want to say Chargers and
Raiders,
and
when they
Raiders,
were, they were Oakland, but still, what I'm saying?
Right, but I think that was like their team, you know what I mean?
Right.
But, regardless of the fact is, you kind of just look at just the list in the history between San Diego and Los Angeles, right? Just that in general, this game means so much more. And on top of that, this was the first ever team that we played as a team, San Diego FC, and we beat these, man, 2-0 in their stadium. So now I think it means a lot more, them coming down to San Diego, right?
Right.
So what does this kind of match mean to you, and what are you kind of looking forward to in this game?
Yeah, no, I think you said a lot. You said it perfectly, exactly what it means to be a San Diegan playing any LA team. You know, it's more about community pride. It's more about the city pride and showing who's better. And through and through, we all believe San Diego is the best.
Certainly.
But yeah, I think I'm really excited for this game because it's going to be a showdown.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, LA Galaxy has not won one game.
Yeah.
But they played LAFC just a few days ago. 2-2.
Yeah.
They're showing up. They're coming up. They look like they're ready to play. Obviously, they didn't win still, but. And I know LA Galaxy wants to come down here to San Diego and shut us up and say what you guys did is a fluke. And again, like, you don't understand that. The city pride is so huge and such a big competition that, you know, LA Galaxy is not going to come here not play the best. They have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
they literally have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So why are they not going to do the best that they can?
Yeah.
And if San Diego thinks they're confident, we might get shooken up a little bit.
Yeah, I think in this type of fixture, right, where it's solely based off of emotion, rather than ability, I think form goes out the window.
100%
in this game. And even though
has San Diego been in that position? We don't know yet. But who is LA Galaxy? And they are not coming.
Yeah. They're not coming without a fight, and it's like they're a very experienced side, right? I mean, MLS champions for a reason, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you tip their hat to them, give them their respect and everything like that, but this is a huge game. And like I said, form goes out the window. Everything about, you know, the past, right, in this season goes out the window, and it's about the spectacle that is going to be played in Snapdragon Stadium.
Exactly, because even imagine this, the news saying LA Galaxy beats San Diego. Now it's the start of their good form coming back. You know, San Diego's the one who took it away from them. LA Galaxy does, but we're here to show that San Diego is going to keep that streak going. We're no pushover team. So
let's go to score predictions. So what are we saying? Are we confident going into this game, or do you think the little cousins are going to give us some trouble?
You know, I think, like you said, form is going to, like, it's all going to be pure emotion. It's going to be all just trying to make a point. Well, I believe that that's important. I don't think LA Galaxy have the ability to stop us defensively. This San Diego team at this point. And I think you let one of our goals go in, and we're going to come crashing down on LA Galaxy. We showed that against LAFC, and that was when our defense was kind of shaky.
In shambles.
Our defense is not that same defense against LAFC, and you give us one crash, and we're coming in, especially with this formation. As long as Mikey Virus doesn't switch anything up, we believe in it. I'm looking at a 3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
Okay, that's very comfortable. I'm gonna go with a different approach, actually. I think, you know, how you mentioned versus LAFC, right, in El Tráfico Derby, it was a very close affair, right? I know, you know, at the last second, Roy scored that free kick, but I think it's going to be a little bit different. I think it's going to be a lot more close of a contest. I'm going to say 1-0 San Diego.
Okay.
I think we get out of there. I think they're, like how you said, form goes out the window, right? So I think they're going to be really up to play in this game, and I think they really want to get their first win, and how better for them, right, from an LA Galaxy point of view,
than to
get their win in San Diego against the team that essentially started the downfall. You know, so I think that's going to be super big headline. So I'm going to say a 1-0 in this game. So guys, let me know what you have to say in the comment section below. What do you kind of think about these last couple games for San Diego FC? What do you guys think about this current upcoming game versus LA Galaxy? We need you guys to come out here. We need you guys to come out and support. This is a derby, guys. This is the SoCal derby, right? This is, you know, little bro versus big bro. You know what I mean? So this is for the bragging rights for California, for SoCal. And what better to do it than do the double over Galaxy in our debut season? Carlos, you got anything else to mention, my friend?
Yeah, no, I think, you know, San Diego come out. It is an important game. It's an important thing. It's important bragging rights. It's important to show out for your community. This isn't just about soccer. At the end of the day, if you're a Padre fan, if you're a fan of San Diego, if you're a fan of the beach, if you're a fan of our food, our Mexican food, you're gonna be a fan of San Diego FC today. Why? Because we are better than LA. We are better than that stupid little city.
All the traffic. They got Disneyland.
And we cannot let our community, our city be put to shambles. And so we need everybody out there to support. So please go get your tickets. Be out there. Go to your local bars. Enjoy it. Put your San Diego FC shirt on and represent the badge and represent the city, because that's what the team's going to be doing, and that's what we're here to do.
Facts. Couldn't have said it better myself, Carlos. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys check us out on Instagram at SDFC Bros and TikTok at SDFC Bros. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We'll see y'all in the next video. Ciao ragazzi.